blood will be running out, right? I need the calcium to help it clot, and then the bleeding will stop, all right? I'm not sure if we have, I don't think I have a video for this, but I hope you guys get the idea. Just know that blood clotting helps to prevent heavy bleeding, okay? So it stops the bleeding. Okay, so apart from milk, of course, dairy products, but also sardines. Sardines are actually also very rich in calcium. All right, so in your notes, there's only milk and green vegetables. You can also add, sardines, dairy products, things like that. Okay, give you guys a moment. Okay. And if you guys are still not too familiar with blood clots, you can also search for the Chinese definition. I'm not too sure about that. Okay, but blood clots. All right. Now, there are two different deficiency diseases. Okay, tongue twister. Two different deficiency diseases that I want to talk about here. So one is in children and the other is in adults. All right. Now, it's like the tea stuff in Chinese. Okay, I'm not sure if that's the is it like the okay, can someone help me look up the blood clots Chinese definition? Because I honestly I'm not too sure. And once you've done that, send it to the Now, if they don't have enough calcium, the bones become soft. Okay? Your internet connection is unstable. Can you guys hear me properly? I hope so. Okay, let me know if there's anything wrong with my internet. Anyways, okay, so if you don't have enough calcium in your bones as a child, your bones will become soft. Okay, so they're not able to stand. So the bones are not able to be straight, so they will bend. All right. Can you imagine? We have all our weight on our legs. If it's not strong enough, when you put weight on it, when you stand up as a child, they will bend. Okay, if it's soft. Versus if we do have enough calcium, then it will be strong enough to hold your body weight. Okay, but if it's soft and you put weight on it, it will bend. Okay, so if you look at this X-ray right here, this is what happens with children with rickets. Okay, their bones are bending like this. All right, so let's move on. But in adults, okay, the deficiency disease is called osteoporosis. Okay, on the street, do you guys see a lot of older men and women bend their backs like this photo right here? Okay, you see that quite often. It is because they do not have enough calcium. Okay, the bones become brittle, so it's like choya, right? It's not that it's soft. It's not soft. It's just brittle. Okay, so they fracture easily. Oops, spelling mistake. Hold on. Fracture. Okay. Okay, so it's not soft. You still see the structure right here. Okay, right here. This is the comparison of a person's normal bone tissue and a bone tissue with osteoporosis. So you see that is brittle. I often hear this word in the live and go. Okay, yes. A lot of the milk powder advertisements will mention this, like guata sosong, but in English it's called osteoporosis. Now, this is the bone tissue of a person with osteoporosis. You can see that it's like choya, I don't really know how to describe this, but it's just called brittle, okay? Now, if you look more closely at these, the comparison between these two photos, I think it's better than me explaining this verbally. So just pay attention here, okay? It's choya, so it can break easily, basically, all right? So it's different in children and adults. Make sure you guys know the difference, okay? And I don't want you guys to, no, I do want you guys to remember this word, okay? Bones become brittle, okay? Keyword. So they fracture easily. Okay, and another thing is that women after menopause, okay? Women after menopause experience these bone fractures easier than men, okay? So just another little fact for you guys. Okay, two more. Remember when I said calcium helps you stop the bleeding, right? But if we don't have enough calcium deficiency, right? We don't have enough calcium, you will have prolonged bleeding. So your bleeding cannot stop, basically. And because calcium is for muscle contractions, you will experience muscle weakness. Okay, but these two are not the ones we are going to focus on. Yes, these are not the ones we're going to focus on too much. So just remember, in adults, osteoporosis, in children, rickets. Okay, don't worry, we'll go back to them in a little bit later on. Okay, some common misconceptions. So should we take in as much calcium as possible to strengthen our bones? So do we always have to drink so many glasses of milk? Do we take in those calcium tablets, those supplements, Colorpine, right? Do we just take in as much as possible to prevent osteoporosis, to prevent rickets as a child, right? Now, actually, if you just keep on taking calcium, it will not be absorbed, okay? Excess calcium will not be absorbed. Now, so how do we get these calcium in our blood? We need to do weight-bearing exercises. Okay, if we want to strengthen our bones, we need to stimulate our bones to absorb. So basically, through these exercises, you're telling your bones, okay, hey, I need the calcium. I need you to absorb more calcium now. You're stimulating it, right? You're telling it, okay, we need to absorb more calcium. So then the excess calcium can be absorbed. Okay, so just right here, having sufficient calcium is good enough. It's yes, you just need enough, but the excess can be absorbed after doing weight-bearing exercises. Okay, so don't just keep taking in more, you need to stimulate the bones. Okay? Okay, another question. Should we take in as much calcium as possible to prevent osteoporosis in old age? Okay, now, as we get older, calcium is naturally lost, and we still cannot absorb the excess calcium. All right, but we can do as much to prevent the calcium lost. Okay, so we can still take in calcium to prevent calcium lost. Okay, or to slow down or to have less calcium lost. But okay, we cannot absorb the excess. All right. Now, like I said, especially in women after menopause, we have less estrogen. Okay, so the female hormone. Okay, after the menopause, we don't have this female hormone, so it's even easier for women to lose our calcium. Okay, so it happens in a lot of older women. Just another fact for you guys. If we keep breaking our bones, can we adapt? And if we keep breaking our bones, can they adapt and eventually get stronger? I think this is a very technical question for doctors, right? Breaking our bones, can they adapt and eventually get stronger? Can they adapt? I don't think it works that way. Cannot, okay. Even if you grow back extra bone after you get injured. Okay, grow back extra bones. I think it does. You get extra bone. I don't think you get extra bones. I think you just get surgery to put your bones back together, right? And your bones get extra at an ankle sprain. Actually, fun fact, I broke my ankle too. I had an ankle fracture. But I don't think I grew another extra bone. It's just that my bones were able to grow back together, but it's not an extra bone. A torn part grew an extra part. Okay, I'm not too sure. Can you? Okay, I'm not superhuman. All right. Okay, so it's just that I broke my bone and then they grew back together, but I didn't get an extra bone. Okay. Okay, Bob, can you look into that? I'm not sure what extra bone. I don't know. All right. If I try to take in as much calcium as I can and be strong when I'm young. Okay, so when you are young, you can take calcium and do weight-bearing exercises to strengthen your bones. And yes, you can. Well, it will eventually happen. Oh, right. Let me reply Emily's question, right? So you can prevent calcium, you can slow down calcium loss, but naturally you will still lose calcium as you're growing older. But when you're growing older, in an old age, you cannot absorb the excess calcium anymore. So you can only prevent loss. Okay, so you don't take in as much as possible because the excess cannot be absorbed, but you need enough to prevent further loss. Okay, but when you're a child, you can stimulate bone strength, bone absorption. So you can ask your bones to tell your bones to absorb more calcium through doing some weight-bearing exercises. Okay, let's hold on to this broken bone talk. Maybe you guys can do some research and let me know. I am actually quite interested in knowing whether my bone is stronger now too. Okay, anyways. All right, so we are done with the first mineral. We are done with calcium. I'm sure we learned a lot about broken bones here. Now let's move on to iron. Now, iron. I'm sure a lot of you has gotten injured, right, and bled before. Have you guys ever smell your blood? So did you guys smell this iron, that steel smell in your blood before? Oh, you have? Okay. Oh, some of you haven't. Maybe when your nose bleeding? Yeah, metallic taste. Okay, good. So you guys do know that your blood kind of smells metallic or it tastes metallic sometimes, right? Wait, you taste blood. Well, not not on purpose, but sometimes if you bite your tongue, if your nose bleeding, then you will know that there's a bit of an iron or metallic smell or taste, right? Exactly. Okay, so this is what it is. All right, so we actually have iron to make hemoglobin. Okay, so iron is responsible for forming hemoglobin. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this term now after the MYA, right? So forming hemoglobin, then if you want to continue on your answer, it would be to carry oxygen. Okay, it's in the red blood cells for carrying oxygen. Okay, eventually have respiration, blah, blah, blah. You guys see the full picture. We'll go through that later. Okay, so right now, just know that iron is used for forming hemoglobin. Now, where can we find it? Okay, beef, beans, green leafy vegetables, egg, liver. Okay, one that you might not remember. Okay, liver, very important. Okay, can you write this down first? Liver tastes weird. Okay, but it's actually really rich in iron. All right. So, all right. Oh, I missed the first blank. Okay, to form hemoglobin, make sure you're writing that down as well. Form hemoglobin. Okay. And you can also write down the food sources. Okay, again, stop me if I'm going too fast. But we do have quite a bit to go through today. So let's see. Do I have time? Okay, moving on. Okay, so what happens when we have iron deficiency? Again, not enough iron. Let's look at this diagram right here. So this is the diagram of a normal person's blood, right? So we have red blood cells, we have our white blood cells, but in anemic patients or people with anemia, we have less red blood cells, if you can see here. Okay, so the deficiency disease is actually called anemia. There are both of these spellings are accepted, okay, with A and without A. Okay, please write this down. This is the deficiency disease. So, like you guys just told me, right? It smells like iron. Now, iron is part of the hemoglobin, right? And hemoglobin is the pigment in the red blood cells. So, if we don't have enough iron to form hemoglobin, then we have, what do we see here? Less red blood cells, okay? Because we don't have hemoglobin. Yes, that is a hand. Now, the reason why here, why we feel weak and tired, can anyone link these together? Why would we feel weak and tired if we don't have enough iron? Can you guys try typing this in the chat? Okay, yes, that's correct. I'll go through the answers later. Let me just give everyone a chance to. Okay. Okay, so far your answers have given me half of the answers. I'm looking for the other half as well. Okay, good. Let's wait for a couple more. Okay, I don't need a full paragraph, maybe just a couple points. Okay, good. All right, okay, good. Okay, so first, hello, cheese. Okay, first part, most of you guys got it. So not enough iron, cannot form hemoglobin, okay? And then you guys gave me the second part, right? So less oxygen can be carried for respiration, okay? Good, well done. Okay, so as you guys can see here, this is an iron deficient hand and this is a normal hand. Okay, not going to go into too much detail, but you guys can imagine, right? So not enough red blood cells to carry oxygen. Then this, yes, not enough red blood cells, basically. Okay, moving on to vitamins. Is there any problems, issues, questions with your minerals? Any questions? Okay, I will move on. I know it takes some time for you guys to type, even if you have questions. Okay, I will move on. If I see any questions, I'll get back to it later. Okay, so vitamin. Again, same thing, no energy value, but we still need it in small amounts to keep us healthy. Now, same thing, help us regulate our metabolic reactions, meaning it helps your chemical reactions in your body to take place. Okay, now we know there are two different types. How do we know? Because before, when we talked about the functions of our lipids, we talked about it being able to carry or transport fat-soluble vitamins, right? So we know that there are water-soluble and fat-soluble vitamins. Some like water more, some like fat more, okay? Friends with water, friends with fat. Now, for example, for water-soluble, so they're friends with the water, when you take too much, you have it in excess, it will be excreted in urine, okay, the water-friendly ones. But the fat-friendly ones, fat-soluble, like vitamin A and D, they will be stored in your body fat instead. Okay, so this is the difference. One is excreted in urine, the other one is just stored in your body fat. Okay. Now, vitamin A, right here. So it is used to form visual purple, but the more scientific term would be rhodopsin. But yes, write both of them. Write visual purple. Make sure you write visual purple. Okay, on page 9, the first table. Okay. Oh, I missed 2 again. I'm so sorry. Okay, so vitamin A and D are fat soluble. Okay, they like fat. So they can be stored in the liver and, okay, body fat. And vitamin C is water soluble. So they are excreted in the urine. Okay. And then vitamin A is to form visual purple in the eye, which is a pigment needed for dim light vision. Okay, keep that in mind, dim light vision. Okay, but visual purple is also called rhodopsin. Okay. Now, question right here. I have 4 different photos right here. So this is what a normal person sees in daytime, and this is what a person sees in a person with vitamin A deficiency see during daytime. Is there a difference? Okay, normal person vs a person with vitamin A deficiency. During daytime, is there a difference? No, okay, no difference during the daytime. But at night, is there a difference? Okay, yes, there's a difference. Why? Why is there no difference during daytime, but there's a difference during night? Okay, good, right. Anyone else? Is everyone else awake? Let's have a look. Can't see color well. Let's see if everyone else is awake. I see a lot of earth backgrounds, but I don't see your faces. Are you guys awake? Hi. Okay, I hope so. All right, so because vitamin A is for dim light, okay, dim light vision. So during the daytime, you don't really see much of a difference, but at night, that is when this will happen, okay? You can't really see clearly in dim light. Okay, quite scary. So remember, we do need our vitamin A. Okay, now, the deficiency disease is called night blindness. Okay, poor vision in dim light at night. Okay, night blindness. Now, deficiency in vitamin A can also cause a thickening of cornea, but we're not going to go into too much detail about the eye. What I want you guys to remember, make sure you remember, is the night blindness one. Okay, night blindness, just in dim light. Okay. Now, thickening of the cornea can also result in blindness in severe cases. Again, okay, not the most important one you need to remember. Okay. Night blindness. Give you guys 2 seconds to write this down. But when does class end? Okay, we still have 30 minutes. Okay, good. All right. Now, food rich in vitamin A, cheese, milk, eggs, liver again. Now, who has heard that? Okay, 食多啲紅蘿蔔啊，對隻眼好啊. Who knows this? Who's heard of this before? Whose parents have said this to you before? 食多啲紅蘿蔔. Right, all parents do, right? 食多啲紅蘿蔔. Carrots or blueberries? My bro hates carrots. Right. Why do we need to eat more honglaba if it's not in here? Actually, because it's cool. Okay, carrots do not have they're not rich in vitamin A actually. But they actually contain carotene. Okay, carrots do not have vitamin A, but they contain carotene. Okay, in the liver, it can be converted to vitamin A. So this is where you can use the word converted. Okay, carotene can be converted into vitamin A in the liver. Okay, that is why, yes, 紅蘿蔔食多啲紅蘿蔔對隻眼好. Okay, yes, basically. But carrots do not contain vitamin A themselves. Okay. Okay, just like tomatoes and spinach, okay, they can convert into vitamin A, but they do not contain vitamin A. Okay. Okay, function of vitamin C. There are a few, but I think I only want to focus on these three. Okay, these three are the ones we're going to focus on. Okay, so healthy connective tissues, I will explain this further later. Helps wound bleeding, keeps gums and skin healthy. Okay, next slide, I will explain a bit more, but warning, 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 warning. If you don't want to see kind of disgusting photos, then you should look away now. Okay, if you don't want to see disgusting photos, look away now. You have been warned. Okay? Warning, look away. Okay, so right here. Now, the people with vitamin A deficiency have a disease called scurvy. Okay, scurvy. Make sure you're writing this down. Okay, now they will have symptoms like bleeding gums. Okay, this is a bit gross, right? So this is what I was trying to warn you. If you guys think it's okay, then let your classmates know to look. Okay. All right. Yes, that's what I warned you guys. Okay. So different symptoms include bleeding gums, easy bruising, and poor wound healing. Okay, all of this are related to, okay, why hoot bang, right? Hurt. Okay, scurvy, why hoot bang. So basically, your gums cannot stop bleeding, and when you hit the edge of the table, you don't really start bleeding, but you bruise because that's bleeding under the skin. Okay, when you bruise, it's kind of like internal bleeding. Okay, when you bruise, it's internal. So you don't bleed, you don't see blood, but it's bleeding inside under the skin. Okay, so that's a bruise. And poor wound healing. All of this is caused by a poor synthesis of collagen. Okay. They always show these at the dentist. Okay, right. So poor synthesis of collagen. You don't make collagen, you don't make enough collagen. Okay, now collagen, like those 骨膠原, you know, in the those advertisements of those beauty drinks, beauty products, right? Okay, increase your collagen, right? What's the Chinese? 骨膠原, is that the Chinese? Right. So those drinks in the advertisements tell you that, okay, if you drink more, you'll get more collagen or whatever, right? Okay, so poor synthesis of collagen if you don't have enough vitamin C. Collagen is present in connective tissues, not just for your skin, but also everywhere else. For example, in the capillaries, so your blood vessels, right? So if you don't make enough collagen, okay, then you will have these different symptoms. Okay. Okay. So you cannot stop these from happening. So bleeding gums, easy bruising, poor wound healing, all to do with your lack of collagen in your connective tissues, in your capillaries. Okay. right, so how do we get enough vitamin C? Not just oranges and lemons. I think most of you, when you think about vitamin C, you think about lemons and oranges. But it's also in kiwi, grapefruit, broccoli, bell peppers, okay, some vegetables. Right. So, moving on. Okay, right here, just another tip for you guys, I guess. So, after you store it for a long time or cooking it at a high temperature, okay, the content of vitamin C will decrease. Okay, so if you cook it at a high temperature, it destroys the vitamin C. If you store it for a long time, if you cut your lemons and oranges for a long time, the content of vitamin C will decrease. Okay, after a long time. So just a fun fact, not very fun. Okay, just a fact. So make sure you guys eat your vitamin C. Okay. Okay, so this is in page 13. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, not that much. Okay, turn to page 13. This is the last food test we'll be looking at. It's called the DCPIP test. Now, before we are adding the solution to our sample, right? We usually have our sample in a test tube, then we add the solution. But this time, other way around. We have our solution, we have our DCPIP solution in a test tube, then we add our sample. So for example, we add our orange juice, we add our lemon juice, 1 drop at a time, okay, to our solution. So we have our solution, which is blue, we add it 1 drop at a time. Unfortunately, we can't really do this together because we're doing over Zoom. Hopefully, when you come back soon, then we can do this in the lab or in the classroom, okay? So when there is vitamin C in my sample, then our solution gets decolorized. Now, I want you guys to all use the word decolorized. I don't want to see colorless, or I don't want to see no color or clear, nothing. I want to see the solution gets decolorized right here when we, under the presence of vitamin C, okay, or in the presence of vitamin C. 英美合 one word, colorize. Oh, right. The spelling is a bit funny. Okay. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay. There are other spellings to this as well. So, okay, maybe without the U, then it's okay. I understand. Okay, never mind. Just know that it's decolorized. There are other spellings for the word decolorized. You guys can look for the English, the US version or the UK version, right? Okay, so under is the solution blue? Yes, the solution itself, the DCPIP solution is blue. When we add a sample with vitamin C, 1 drop at a time, it will become decolorized. Okay, so why do we need to do it 1 drop at a time? If you look at the question here, we have a food sample A, we have 5 cm cube. We need 5 cm cube of sample A to decolorize. Well, we need 8 cm cube of food sample B to decolorize. So which one has more vitamin C? Let's see if you guys can. Okay, that's very fast. Good. Anyone else? Okay, we need 5 cm cube to decolorize. And we need 8 cm cube of B to decolorize. Let me give you guys a second to think about this. I want to see at least 10 more answers. Come on. Good. Bob. Okay, let me explain. So 5 cm cube of A, 8 cm cube of B. So if we need less to already decolorize the solution, then it is higher in A. You guys are correct. Okay, that's why we do it 1 drop at a time to see how much we need to decolorize the sample. So we can kind of tell how concentrated the sample is. That's why we do it 1 drop at a time to see how many drops we need to decolorize the sample. Okay, so we can use this method to compare different food samples to see which one has more vitamin C. Okay. So we're finished with our last food test. Let's go back to page 9. Let's very, very quickly finish this off. We don't have that much time. Okay. Okay, let's move on to our last vitamin, which is vitamin D. Now, very, very important. Vitamin D helps the absorption of calcium and phosphate. So they're friends, okay? You need the vitamin D to absorb enough calcium and phosphate. Okay? So, keeping that in mind, it is the same. So, because we need vitamin D to absorb our calcium, if we don't have enough vitamin D, then we will experience some of the same deficiency as calcium. Okay, so in your notes, child, again, rickets. And for adults, again, osteoporosis. Okay, phosphorus. Okay, phosphorus. Okay, leave it at phosphorus then. Okay, if you guys want to look at the chemical formula, it's different, but just, yes, either one is fine in this case. Okay, so same deficiency disease as calcium, because if you don't have enough vitamin D, you cannot absorb enough calcium. Okay, so the deficiency is similar. That is why, if you remember rickets and osteoporosis, you already get marks for both calcium and vitamin D. Okay, so very worth the memorization, right? But for vitamin D, remember to also add one more line saying that vitamin D helps the absorption of calcium and phosphorus or phosphate. That is why if you have the vitamin D deficiency, you will also experience rickets and osteoporosis. Okay, so it's the same thing. In children, rickets, in adults, osteoporosis. Okay, moving on. So how do we get enough vitamin D? Okay, so again, dairy products and fish liver oil. Okay, these are already in your notes. Hope you guys don't have any questions. You guys don't seem to be asking me. Okay, good question. Do we get vitamin D from the sun? That leads me to my next slide, right here. We do not get it. We do not get vitamin D from the sun. You do not get it. You do not absorb it. But when your skin is exposed to sunlight, your skin will produce the vitamin D. Okay, so you produce the vitamin D, you do not get it, you do not absorb it. Okay, so when there is sunlight, when your human skin is exposed to sunlight, it will form or produce vitamin D. Okay, so yes, very good point. A very, very common misconception. Okay, make sure you write produce or formed instead of absorb. Okay, that's why sometimes these words are very, very important. I can't really give you a mark in your test if you guys write absorb from the sunlight. Okay, make sure you're writing this down. I'll give you guys some time. You guys can write it down next to sources, but it's not really a source. It's just, it helps you produce more. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, stop 20 minutes. Right. Okay. Give you guys 30 more seconds to make sure you're writing this down. Very important. All right. Now, before we move on to fiber, I want you guys to look at the two different photos at the bottom of the page on page 9 and quickly write down what the deficiency diseases are. Okay, I'm sure you guys already have an idea. What is the name of the deficiency diseases on the left photo and right photo? Okay, remember to write the name of the disease. Okay, name of the disease, not the vitamin or the mineral. The name of the deficiency disease. Yes, that's right. Okay, good. Yes, you guys are right. Yes, good. All right, okay. Well done. I saw some answers. So yes, on the left, that is the disgusting bleeding gums photo I showed you guys, right? So scurvy. Okay, the vitamin C deficiency, scurvy. And on the right, it is rickets, which is in children, okay, vitamin D and calcium deficiency, rickets. Well done. All right. Okay, let's move on. So last up, we're going to talk about dietary fiber. Now, it's indigestible. What does that mean? So us human, we do not have the suitable enzymes to digest it. So it cannot be digested. It is the plant, it's part of the plant cells, plant food, sorry. Now, it is contained, it's consisted of cellulose from the cell wall. Okay, you guys already know this, right? Cell wall made of cellulose. So that is the part that we cannot digest. Okay, of plants that we cannot digest. We just don't have enough, we don't have the suitable enzymes. So it is made up of cellulose in your notes. Because we cannot digest it, it has no energy value. Okay, indigestible. Okay. So, what are the major food sources? Okay, yes, the food that is rich in dietary fibers include vegetable and fruits. Okay, you must write down vegetable and fruits. You can also add an additional one, which is wholemeal cereals. But you must have vegetables and fruits. Okay, again, the part that we can't digest is the cellulose. Okay, the cellulose in the cell wall. So we cannot digest it. That's why your parents always say, eat your vegetables. It's good for your digestion, right? Must have fruits, must have vegetables. So that is why. We need our dietary fiber. But why? Why do we need it? We don't even have the enzymes for it. We can't digest it for the energy, or we can't digest it for energy. We cannot use it. We don't have enzymes. Why do we need to eat it? Now, what it does is to add bulk, okay, for stimulating peristalsis. Okay, peristalsis is actually the movement. Okay, it's the muscular movement of your digestive tract. It's the contraction, relaxation of your digestive tract. So your intestinal walls. Okay, so imagine like the argo, right? You need to squeeze it out. Okay, so that's the same concept. It's not exactly the same, but it's the squeezing, relaxing, contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation, okay, to push whatever it is along. All right. So that is the peristalsis. That is what peristalsis is. Okay, that's the movement, the contraction, relaxation for things to move along. Okay. Now, oops. So because we have this action, we can prevent constipation and colon cancer. Okay. These are the two. Make sure you spell this correctly, peristalsis. And this is the muscular movement. And if you can look at this right here, this is what's happening. All right. So we contract and then relax. And then we contract again and it will move along. Okay, so this is relaxing. Then this part will contract, push it along, relax again. And then this part, contract, push, relax, keeps happening and happening. And then it will eventually move along. Okay, so of course, if it is to prevent constipation, the deficiency would cause constipation. Okay, I think we have a bit of time left. Make sure you guys are writing this down. I have a video to show you guys in a bit. Again, if you think these things are disgusting, you don't need to look at it. Okay, so make sure you're writing this down. Give me 1 second. Oops. Look for the video. Oops, stop sharing. Stop share. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll look for the video. And then we can all look at this very interesting video of peristalsis. One second. While I'm looking for it, what you guys can do is page 11. You will need to do this for homework along with another investigation project. I will post it on both Google Classroom, Perusal, whatever. I'll post it on there later this week. It will be your Chinese New Year homework. Okay, don't worry, it's a fun little project. It won't take up too much time. So do your page 11 and the investigation project. Let me find it. Okay, found it. Okay, found the link. If you guys don't like to see disgusting videos, then do not watch it. Okay, you have been warned. If you don't want to see it, close your eyes now. Okay, so this is what peristalsis is. Let's pay attention to the movement. Okay, it's not scary. It's just, okay, some people don't like to watch these things. Okay. So what you want to pay attention to here is the movement of the intestinal walls. Okay, so the contraction and relaxation to push things along. Okay, can you guys see the movement? Are you guys are seeing this, right? How do they shine the light and cam in there? Okay, so sometimes when the doctors examine your intestinal health, things like that, they can actually put a camera through a tiny tube, okay, and then, okay, insert it into your body, and then they can look through your intestines, see if there's anything wrong with it without opening the person up, okay? So there are a lot of technical things to this. I'm not even in the position to explain to you how it works, okay, because I'm not a doctor, but this is actually what's happening in there, okay? This is the movement of peristalsis. So you see how it's contracting and relaxing to push things along. So contract, relax, contract, relax, contract, relax. Okay, basically that's it. Okay. So let's go back to right here. Okay, so this is, oops. So this is what we were doing. Okay. So afterwards, this is what I want you guys to do for the remaining 8 minutes. Okay, is to look at, okay, this is your homework. I will post it on eClass, post it on Google Classroom, whatever I think will help. And right here, now, because I see some, okay, not so much your class, but I see some other classes may be struggling with how to answer these questions when they see this in the test exams. So if the question asks you why deficiency in calcium results in increased risk of bone fracture, first question, is this talking about children or adults? Is this, because we know that deficiency in calcium results in two different things. Okay, so bone fracture, are we talking about adults or children? Yes, 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 yes. Good. So I am teaching 1, 2, 3 of you only. Where's everyone else? Bone fracture, adult or children? Hello? Okay, thank you. So in this case, we are actually looking for the answer for adults, okay? Now, what I want to see is here. Let me just show you all of this. Okay, so what I want to see here is an answer that is going to mainly talk about bone fracture. So first of all, you need to tell me the function. What is calcium for? So you tell me calcium is a major component of bones. Okay, I know it is a component of bones and teeth, but in this case, because it's about bone fracture, you can just tell me it's about bones. Okay, then the second part is to tell me what happens. Okay, look at the question, deficiency in calcium. What happens when there's a deficiency? Okay, so insufficient intake of calcium, so not enough calcium, your bones will contain less calcium. Okay, that's what happens when there's a deficiency. And then consequence, what ends up happening? Therefore, your bones become brittle. Okay, remember keyword, right? We talked about this just now. Bones become brittle, so there will be an increased risk of bone fracture. Okay, so this is how you can structure all of your answers. You guys don't really write less than what I need sometimes, but in fact, you guys write a lot of extra information. I'm glad you guys have the time to write a lot of extra information. It's really, really good that you guys can remember a lot of things. But in case you guys in the future do not have enough time, just make sure you guys structure your answer in this way so you can both hit all of the key points, but also save more time because you guys write a lot. Okay? Okay, similarly, for this question, deficiency in iron results in tiredness and weakness. Okay, why? Okay, you guys can think about this. You guys have 4 minutes to think about this and that goes to the answer. You don't really need to type it out, but just make sure you are writing this down and then we can check it together later. How will you structure this question? The answer, sorry. Okay, in the meantime, let me take your attendance. E. Make sure you're doing this question right now. I am taking your attendance. Class 9C, lessons 1 and 2, biology. Okay, so Joyce. Okay, once you guys are done with this question, we can actually, okay, this is just another hint. Let me continue taking attendance. Let me finish this really quickly. Thirty-six. Right. 11, 2, 27, 8, 6, 4, 20, 22, 1, 3, 1. Is Arthur here? Arthur. We are missing 2, right? Is it just my imagination that we're missing the 34? Oh wait, he is here. Hold on, I miss you. Hold on, sorry. What about 20s? Oh, we do have 34. Okay, why was I looking? All right, okay. Sorry, let's go through the answer really quickly. Okay, so right here. First of all, you need to tell me, oh, we don't have much time. Okay, really quickly. Iron is important for making hemoglobin in red blood cells. You need to tell me the function, okay? And then hemoglobin, what is the function of hemoglobin, right? You need to tell me that is responsible for binding or carrying oxygen. That is why when we have insufficient intake of oxygen, you don't have enough hemoglobin to carry oxygen. And then, yes, you guys are right, cannot perform respiration because not enough oxygen, and then it will develop anemia. And anemia is when they feel weak and tired. All right, so we don't have enough time. Take a photo of this, things like that, and then you can go when you're done. Okay, I will post your homework on Google Classroom. Okay, once you're done, you may leave. Sorry, we overran a little bit. Okay, Bye-bye. Bye.
Teacher Andy.